Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for April 17, 2023, the end of Faking It edition. And we begin with that story from the New York Times, which reports that recent changes, convictions, and sentences all indicate that the startup world's habit of playing fast and loose with the truth actually has consequences. In other words, faking it till you make it is over. Not only has funding dried up for cash-burning startups over the years, but fraud is in the air as investors scrutinize startup claims more closely, and a tech downturn reveals who has been taking the industry's fake-it-till-you-make-it ethos too far. Just look at the past 2 weeks. Charlie Javiz, founder of Frank, was arrested and accused of falsifying customer data. A jury found Rishi Shah, co-founder of Outcome Health, guilty of defrauding customers, and Elizabeth Holmes is sent to jail. Next up, 8 months in, what's been happening with Biden's CHIP Act? Well, turns out quite a bit. There are concerns that the bill has too much red tape and non-core progressive priorities that may undermine it. Mike Schmidt, the director of the CHIPS program, will join Bloomberg to discuss. Next up, and what will probably be one of the biggest news stories of this week and many more, is the Dominion defamation suit against Fox News. Has opening statements set to begin Monday. Dominion seeking $1.6 billion in damages over the network's coverage of false vote rigging claims in the 2020 election. The judge began jury selection on Thursday and is due to finish the process on Monday before opening statements will begin. This is, as I said, going to be one of the most watched trials. The pre-trial coverage has been devastating for Fox in terms of showing what they knew and when they knew it. The damages are incredibly high, and it's unlikely that the parties will settle. So more will be revealed. And finally, from the Asia Times, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, in an interview with Mongolia's Minister of Justice and Internal Affairs, says that the company has vowed to resolve its deep-seated corruption problems in response to thousands of angry protesters who tried to storm Parliament last December while calling for an investigation into the theft of $1.8 billion in benefits around government contracts. So maybe even Mongolia will start to look at its corruption. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.